Welcome back YouTubers to my channel of an everyday life of an Aspie. If you're following me and you're new to my channel, I welcome you all. I'm Aspie. I'm all about creating mental health and awareness and sharing my life stories with Aspergers Syndrome, OCD and the like, along with tips and advice along the way for your general health versus your personal health struggles or whatever it may be that comes about, along with, words of encouragement for you guys to lighten your day or lighten your day so that you can have a bit of comfort and hope and clarity and understanding throughout your day of what's maybe going on in your own personal struggles. I hope to be your support, advocate person, or what have you, to be the way I am, to actually share my thoughts, experiences, and life opinions based on everyday things as well. And also, along the way of what I do is I bring out some fun and games along the way. So if some of this stuff is for you that you feel that, I want to join on board with Aspie's channel, feel free to subscribe to my channel on the bottom right hand corner of the screen, and also just feel free to also comment below of some of the stuff that you may have been going through, or just maybe something you wish for me to share that is health and awareness related or what have you, so that hopefully we can get on board and educate one another as well as learn from one another what we go through in our everyday lives, regardless what it may be. So before I run out of time, I'm doing the Autism AnswersAll seminar, and at this point in time there will be more to come apparently of the topics that I may have missed. So just remember to bear in mind also, when I do these, it does take its toll on me regardless of the research and findings, because obviously, like I say, I'm going to be real and transparent, as well as also making sure when I do my research and findings based on some of the everyday topics that has statistics in it, to be as real and hopefully as up to date and current with you guys. And just to bear in mind that some of the stuff that I do share, that of the everyday topics that I have done already, weren't obviously New Zealand based findings, because some of it is still new in New Zealand of the autism and Aspergers Syndrome kind of diagnoses for people, obviously, and we need to hopefully in the near future bring out more information here in New Zealand, which that's why I'm here to try and advocate as much as best as I can, so to speak, so that hopefully we can get the ball running together, working in a close-knit family. So this one's all about tips for teaching high functioning people with autism. So these tips may be of value and use to you when you're teaching people with high functioning autism, or shall I say just autism and Aspergers syndrome in general, or even just maybe some other people with learning disabilities and specialised needs that needs to be intertwined with this. But just to bear in mind that this is solely focusing on autism, people with autism today, and I'm hoping to share out more based on other different conditions later today. So also, as a disclaimer before I continue, I'm not a doctor, so I'm just doing normal everyday Joe blogs that shares her life stories and experiences of whatever she goes through in her everyday life. So any of the signs and symptoms that has been pronounced or shown in some of these videos that I have shared, regardless in the past or present, do seek professional help for yourself or your loved one, or even seek an opinion for yourself or loved one, because I don't forever condone self-harm. I prefer you guys to be happy, well and free, and actually be able to do what you can. Right, let's begin this before we run out of time. I think from memory there are 17 tips in here that I'm about to share with you all, so bear with me if I've lost track of the numbers. But then again, hopefully you'll learn something along the way through with this. So hopefully these will be great resource tools for some people that are working with people with autism, or even just a teacher, educator, whatever it may be, so that we can learn from one another regardless who and what we are in general. So, number one, people with autism have trouble with organisational skills, regardless of their intelligence and or age. Even a straight-A student with autism who has a photographic memory can be incapable of remembering to bring a pencil to class, or of remembering a deadline for an actual assignment. In such cases, an aid should be provided in the least restrictive way possible. Strategies could have included the student having put a picture on the cover of their notebook, or maintaining a list of assignments to be completed at home, a to-do list, and the list goes on here. Some of us may want something visual as a reminder for us in our everyday reminding of how to go about our day, sort of thing, like like a calendar telling us what's happening throughout our day, or what have you, or shall we say our current timetable when in schools. Always Praise the student when they do remember something that they've previously forgotten. Never denigrate or harp at them when they fail at a particular subject, which is not on. Some people will tend to, gloat and all that about their grades and stuff, and sometimes some people may want to know our grades and stuff. Sometimes, not all of us, but some of us may just want to be private into, how our grading system works, because I was one of those type of people that kept to myself and actually didn't announce to the world, what grade I got and whatnot. But it's given always, because, every student will bound to do that. A lecture on the subject will not only not help, but it will often make the problem worse. Here's what I'm just clearly sharing with you all. They may begin to believe that they can't remember to do or bring these things with them. These students seem to have either the neatest or messiest of the desks or lockers in their own school. The one with the messiest desk will need your help in frequent cleanups of the desk or locker so that they can find the things that need to be found. Simply remember that they're probably not making a conscious choice to be messy, however. They most likely are incapable of this organisational task without specific training. Attempt to train them in an organisational skill using small specific steps when and if necessary. Number 2. People with autism have problems with abstract and conceptual thinking. Some may eventually acquire abstract skills, but others may never will. When abstract concepts must be used, use visual cues such as drawings or written words to augment the idea or abstract of that form of idea that you're trying to go across. Be as concrete and not subtle, but be straightforward in much way of the interaction with these type of students that needs that interaction. Here, say, even if we are visual learners. Avoid asking vague questions such as, why did you do that? Instead say, I did not like it when you slammed your book down when I said it was time for the gym. Next time, put the book down gently and tell me that you are angry. Were you showing me that you did not want to go to the gym or that you did not want to stop reading? Avoid asking essay type questions. Be as concrete as possible in all of your interactions with these type students. Number 3. An increase in unusual or difficult behaviours probably indicates an increase in stress. Sometimes stress is caused by a feeling of loss of control. Many of times, stress will only be alleviated when the student physically removes themselves from the stressful event or situation. If this does occur, a program should be set up to assist the student in re-entering and or staying in that stressful situation. When this occurs, a safe place or safe person may come in handy. Number 4. Don't take misbehaviour personally. The high-functioning person with autism isn't a manipulative, scheming person who is trying to make life difficult for you. They are seldom, if ever, capable of being manipulative. Usually misbehaviours is the result of efforts to survive in certain experiences, which may be confusing, disorientating, or even frightening for us. People with autism are, by virtue of their disability, egocentric, most of which may have extreme difficulty reading the reactions of others. Number 5. Most high-functioning people with autism use and interpret speech literally. Until you know the capabilities of the individual, you should avoid idioms. Example, save your breath, jump the gun, second thoughts. 2. Double meanings. Most jokes have double meanings. 3. Sarcasm. Example, saying great after he has just spilled a bottle of ketchup on the table. 4. Nicknames. Cute name. Excuse me. Example, pal, buddy, wise guy. 6. Remember that facial expressions and other social cues that we share may not always work. Most individuals with autism have difficulty reading facial expressions and interpreting vague body language. 7. If the student doesn't seem to be learning a task, break it down into smaller steps. We can present the task in several ways. Example, visually, verbally, physically. 8. Avoid verbal overload. Be clear. Use shorter sentences if you perceive that the student isn't fully paying attention or understanding you. Although they probably have no hearing problem and may be paying attention, they may be having difficulty understanding your main points and identifying important information. Number 9. Prepare the student for all environmental and or changes in the routine, such as assembly, substitute teacher, and rescheduling. Use a written or visual schedule to prepare them for change. 10. Behaviour management works. but if incorrectly used, it can encourage robot-like behaviors, provide only a short-term behavior change, or result in some form of aggression. Use positive and chronically age-appropriate behavior procedures. 11. Consistent treatment and expectations from everyone is vital. 12. Be aware that normal levels of auditory and visual input can be perceived by the student as too much or too little. For example, the hum of fluorescent lighting is extremely distracting for some people with autism. Consider environmental changes such as removing visual clutter from the room or setting changes if the student seems distracted or upset by their classroom environment. 13. If your high-functioning student with autism uses repetitive verbal arguments and or repetitive verbal questions, you need to interrupt what can become a continually repetitive itinerary. Continually responding in a logical manner or arguing back seldom stops this behavior. The subject of the argument or question isn't always the subject which has upset them. More often, the individual is committing a feeling of loss or control of uncertainty about someone or something in that environment. Number 14. Try requesting that they write down the question or argumentative statement, then write down your reply. This usually begins to calm them down and stops the repetitive activity as addressed earlier in the piece. If that doesn't work, write down the repetitive questions or argument and ask them to write down a logical reply, perhaps the one that they think would make it work. This will distract them from escalating verbal aspect of the situation and may give them a more socially acceptable way of expressing their frustration or anxiety. Another alternative is role-playing the repetitive argument or question with you, taking their parts and having them answer you as they think you might. Since these individuals experience various communication difficulties, don't rely on the students with autism to relay important messages to their parents about school events, assignments, etc., etc., unless you try it on an experimental basis with the follow-up, or unless you're already certain that the student has mastered this skill already. Even sending home a note for their parent may not work. The student may not remember to deliver the note, or may lose it before reaching home. Phone calls to parents may work best until the skill can be developed. Frequent and accurate information between the teacher and parent or primary caregiver is very important. 15. If your class involves pairing off or choosing partners, either draw numbers or use some other arbitrary means of pairing, or ask an especially kind student if they would agree to choose the individual with autism as a partner before the pairing does take place. The student with autism is most often the individual left with no partner. This is unfortunate since these students could benefit most from having a partner. So again, as I said before, inclusion is important. Number 16. Assume nothing when assessing skills. For example, the individual with autism may be a worthless in algebra but not be able to make simple change at a cash register, or he may have an incredible memory about books that they have read, or speeches that they may have heard, or even just sports statistics or some form of statistics along the way, but still may not be able to remember to bring a pencil in class. Uneven skills development is a whole not all incessant. Well, this quickly ends a short brief overview of tips for teaching people with high functioning autism. Give me a like for a thumbs up support. Comment below if I've missed out anything, or feel free to comment below of anything that is listed in these tips on how you go about it on your everyday time frame. Feel free to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, if you want to be part of my YouTube family as well, because as I said, I do this on the daily. And if you want to join me on my journey, feel free to turn on the notification bell if you haven't done so, as well as sharing these videos around to family and friends. No further ado, guys. Thanks for the support. Thanks for watching. Do what you love what you do. Until next time.